Greetings, food lovers. I'm Kanan Badalov, and this is my cooking show. A place where tradition meets rural inventiveness, transforming simple ingredients into life-changing experiences. Ready? Let's dive into a world of flavors. This is one of those special episodes. I have multiple guests joining me today, and trust me, there are surprises in store. So buckle up, stay tuned, and don't let anything pull you away from witnessing this magic unfold. But before we dive in, take a quick moment, subscribe to the channel, and give this video a thumbs up. You won't want to miss what's coming next. A quality cut of meat deserves expert hands. That's why I've invited a friend of mine, a renowned butcher from the village. With his skill and precision, we're in the best hands for this task. This fella knows exactly where to cut, where to leave the meat intact, and when to strike with full force to break the bone cleanly. Butchery isn't just about strength. It's an art of precision, patience, and deep understanding of anatomy. A great butcher distinguishes himself through years of practice, a sharp eye for quality, and the ability to transform a whole animal into perfectly portioned cuts without waste. Since today I'm preparing an ancient Azerbaijani dish, I needed a skilled butcher for a reason. This recipe relies on layers. Lamb fat at the base, followed by tender meat, another layer of fat, and finally more meat. As it slowly melts during the long cooking process, the fat bastes the meat in its own richness, making it incredibly tender. Getting these layers just right requires precision, which is why having a professional here is essential. You know, most of the time, I cook and work alone. But in these rare moments when I have a partner in crime, the kitchen feels less lonely, or maybe even more reassuring. When you share the process, the end result becomes a mutual responsibility, success or failure. It's a shared journey. Should I consider hiring a sous chef? What makes this ancient dish so extraordinary? Time. It's cooked for a full 12 hours. Slow, deliberate, almost meditative. As the lamb melts away, turning into silky golden fat, the meat tenderizes in the oven, absorbing every bit of flavor. This isn't just food. It's a transformation, a slow alchemy of flavors that can't be rushed. Just look at how beautifully he butchered this lamb. Every part is cleanly separated, no rough tears, no jagged cuts, just precise, effortless work. The ribs are intact, the fat is evenly distributed, and the muscles are perfectly portioned, ready for the slow cooking ahead. This is craftsmanship at its finest. Take a look at this. It almost resembles a pie, but one made entirely of meat. Layer upon layer, each piece fitting into place like a masterpiece of flavor. The lamb fat, now softened, acts as a binding force, sealing in the juices, ensuring every bite is as succulent as the last. I think my friend and I have earned a break. I'm not sure about myself, but he definitely deserves one. After all, wielding a butcher's knife with such mastery is no small feat. One of the best things about having a friend in the kitchen, the conversation. You can chat about anything. What's on your mind, what made you happy this week, or even share that incredible recipe you stumbled upon the other day. Cooking becomes more than just a task. It's a shared experience, a moment to enjoy. So let's not dwell on anything else and just savor this time together. Now let's get this masterpiece into the oven. This pot, filled with layers of meat and fat, is about to embark on a slow transformation. The heat will work its magic, melting the fat, softening the meat, and fusing all those deep, rich flavors together. The wait will be long, but trust me, it will be worth every second. And while we wait, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit that bell icon, and stay tuned for more incredible dishes. "12 hours, that's how long this dish takes to reach perfection. 12 hours of slow, steady heat where the lamb gradually surrenders, turning impossibly tender. The fat renders down, wrapping the meat in pure richness, creating something that can't be rushed or replicated. This is patience rewarded, a dish that tells its own story with every bite." Now let's talk about the perfect companion to our slow-cooked lamb, pilaf. The process is just as important as the ingredients. Each grain should remain separate, light, and infused with flavor. Always remember to wash your rice thoroughly. This isn't just about cleanliness, it's the key to achieving that beautifully fluffy texture. Rinsing removes excess starch, preventing the grains from clumping together and ensuring they cook to perfection. While I'm making the pilaf, the kids are having the time of their lives, laughing, running around, completely lost in their own little world. Meanwhile, I'm focused on preparing this dish the Azerbaijani way. We don't just boil rice and call it done. No, we let it steam gently, allowing each grain to absorb the flavors and cook to perfection. It's a slow, patient process, but the result? A light, fluffy pilaf that complements our rich lamb beautifully. Look at those kids. They think cooking pilaf is some kind of fun game. Maybe they're onto something. After all, there's something truly magical about turning simple ingredients into a feast. Watching them play and laugh makes this whole cooking process even more enjoyable. It reminds me that food isn't just about eating. It's about the moments we create while making it. Wow, the tandoor's blazing hot like the mouth of a fiery furnace. Perfect! Let's place our dish inside and let the fire work its magic. I can never quite decide which season is my favorite. Winter has its cozy charm, but spring does something to your senses. The air feels different, full of life, full of promise. Let's set the table while I wait for another friend to arrive. Every good meal deserves good company. Ah, here he comes! And look at my girl. She's been waiting for him since morning, ever since she heard he was coming. There's something special about the excitement of welcoming a friend to the table. Let's do this together. Open the oven and reveal what we've been waiting for. I'm glad you arrived at just the right moment. What I've prepared for you is something truly special. Look at this. Meat cooked in pure, glistening fat. The layers have melded together, creating a texture so tender it barely holds its shape. The aroma alone tells you everything. It's rich, deep, and utterly mouth-watering.
Oturalım.
The scent rising from this dish is intoxicating. It's smoky, buttery, with a deep roasted aroma that clings to the air. The lamb, slow cooked in its own juices, glistens with golden fat. The outer layer has crisped just enough to hold everything together while the inside is so soft it surrenders at the slightest touch. Look at this little girl. She's trying to sneak a bite while no one's watching. Can you blame her? The sight of this feast is too tempting to resist. The table is set and the scene is perfect. The pilaf glows under the light, each grain separate and fragrant. The meat, rich and tender, sits at the center like a prize. There's warmth in the air, the clinking of plates, the laughter of friends and family. It's the kind of moment you wish could last forever. Every element of this feast comes together in harmony. The slow-cooked lamb, the delicate pilaf, the crisp golden bread, the tangy bite of pickled cucumbers, all perfectly balanced. This is more than just a meal. It's an experience, a memory in the making.
Baba bu çok tatlıydı. Yedim onu. Ben yedim.
And the meat, just look at it. It's been transformed by time and heat into something beyond tender. The fat has seeped through every fiber, making it impossibly juicy. Every bite is infused with smoky depth, a taste that lingers, demanding you savor it slowly.
3, 4. Please.
Thank you very much.
This has been an incredible journey, from the first cut of meat to the final, unforgettable feast.
Guys, it's very perfect. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me, Super.
Cooking isn't just about food, it's about tradition, patience, and the people we share it with. I hope you've enjoyed this experience as much as I have. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more. Until next time, happy cooking. Hey guys, welcome back. It's your friend and hopefully your favorite cook, Kanan Badalov is here to take you on a new culinary adventure. Chicken might seem overdone, but trust me, if you want to shake things up, chicken is the way to go. Let me show you why. You've never had chicken like this before. Get ready for a chicken recipe you simply can't miss, because I'm about to reveal the secret to next level chicken. Today I'm taking you through an iconic Azerbaijani recipe, a beloved comfort food in countless households. Please welcome chigurtma. But this isn't just any chigurtma, I'm putting my own spin on it with an amazing twist. Ready? Before introducing the chicken to its partner in crime, eggs, I'm giving it a deep, golden sear to lock in flavor and richness. That smoky depth, melting into the creamy egg-infused texture, will have your taste buds begging for more. This isn't just chicken, it's a whole new level of unforgettable. Already excited to see the result? Then make sure you're subscribed to the channel and give me a thumbs up. I promise that will take your cooking skills to the next level. Let me introduce the stars of the show. These two are about to serve up a feast fit for royalty. I'm lucky to handpick my own chicken, guaranteeing top-notch quality every time. I've said this before, but seriously, man, store-bought frozen chicken gives me the chills. Luckily, with local butcheries all over the city, I can always get my hands on a freshly cut, home-raised chicken. I'm crisping up the skin just like this until it turns that perfect, dark, grayish color. No wonder Azerbaijani people prefer home-raised livestock and poultry over store-bought alternatives. The reason lies in our history. Our cuisine is deeply rooted in the country's diverse agriculture, which blossomed from the vast grasslands, creating the perfect environment for pastoralism to flourish. Simply put, pastoralism is a form of farming where livestock like cows, camels, goats, and sheep graze freely on expansive open pastures. As I mentioned before, our agricultural heritage gave rise to a cuisine rich in hearty meat dishes, from bazbash, with its smooth, velvety broth, to piti, a slow-cooked stew packed with tender chickpeas. These dishes satisfy any meat lover's cravings. This deep-rooted tradition has built up a national appreciation for top-quality food, and let me tell you, it's something I've definitely picked up along the way. Now, when I'm done with the chicken, it's time to place it in this beautiful, time-tested clay pot. If you're thinking of trying this recipe at home, take my advice. Get yourself a clay pot. It's a total game changer. The porous nature of clay retains moisture, keeping your chicken tender and juicy. It's perfect for slow-cooked dishes like stews. Adding carrots, some greens, and a kick of refreshingly spicy ginger will elevate the chicken, infusing it with layers of rich, complex flavors. And since chicken is the star of today's episode, let's take a moment to appreciate it. Tell me, what's your all-time favorite chicken dish? Which one is the cherry on top? Drop a comment below. If you ask me, my top pick has to be lavangji, a true gem of Azerbaijani cuisine. Oh man, just saying its name out loud gives me an instant craving. Lavangji is a perfect combination of tender chicken packed with a rich, savory filling of walnuts, onions, spices, and plum sauce, absolutely mouth-watering, jaw-dropping, and everything in between. This dish hails from the Talish region in southern Azerbaijan, where they make the best lavangi you'll ever taste. few bay leaves for that aromatic, punchy kick. Let's finish this goodness with a handful of salt and pour in some water. All right, my friends, we've got everything in place and ready to kick. A small addition that gives the broth a refreshing, citrusy kick. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to stay in loop and enjoy awesome content. I think it's time to get the chicken off the heat and start the actual cooking. The heart of chigurtma. Remember, cooking your chicken in butter instead of vegetable oil makes a huge difference. So keep in mind that butter is the better choice for this recipe, as it pairs perfectly with the rich, creamy egg yolks. Also, make sure you've got plenty of eggs on hand. To make the perfect chigurtma, you'll need dozens of eggs to achieve that rich, gooey, porridge-like texture. Oh man, this smell is out of this world. I wish you could inhale the incredible fusion of melted butter and aromatic roasted chicken with that perfect char from earlier. It's like your senses are wrapped in a blanket of pure flavor. Can you feel it? In go the eggs! Let the magic happen! To take this dish to the next level, I'm adding some broth for that extra soft, melt-in-your-mouth texture. Someone's getting quite impatient. Hold on, my little girl. Dinner will be served in a glimpse of an eye. let's adorn the dish with some greens and get the ball rolling.
That's it, guys.
Bunları koymuşsun burada.
Devam.
İşte.
Şöyle böyle.
Hadi götür. Oy. Selamünaleyküm. Babama kapatışım.
Allah.
Oh man, this dish is something else. The chicken, after getting that perfect sear, soaks up all those smoky, buttery flavors, making every bite ridiculously juicy. And once the eggs go in, that's when the magic happens. They wrap around the chicken, turning into this rich, velvety layer that just melts in your mouth. A splash of broth ties everything together, keeping it soft and packed with flavor. And those spices, they sneak in just right, giving it a little warmth and depth. Trust me, once you dig in, you won't want to put your spoon down. And here we are at the end of today's cooking adventure. I hope you had a blast cooking along with me and discovered a new recipe to add to your favorites.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you guys for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.
This was Kanan Badalov, your chef and your good friend. See you in the next episode. Take care and keep enjoying amazing meals. Well, hello, my friends. Woke up today with a fire in my belly, absolutely buzzing for the dish we're about to tackle. This one follows the golden rule of Badalov's kitchen. The 3 B's: big, bold, and brilliant. So, buckle up, because we're about to take a ride through the kingdom of pure, unfiltered satisfaction. Now, I know what you're thinking. What crazy idea has he come up with this time? A whole lamb roasted in a cave? Well, not today. Though trust me, I've saved that one for another episode. Today we're sticking to something classic, one of those tried and true cooking techniques that separate the good from the unforgettable. Because as they say, repetition is the mother of mastery. Right here, in all its glory, stands a giant beef leg, soon to make history by flipping our expectations from good to utterly mind-blowing. And trust me, even though I've dealt with beasts of this size before, today won't be any less challenging. Years in the kitchen don't make you immune to mistakes, and I'll be the first to admit I still slip up. Oh, and before I get too carried away, have you subscribed yet? Hit that button, give this video a like, and let's keep pushing the boundaries of what we can cook together. All right, let's get back to it. Now, while small mistakes are just part of the process, there are a few golden rules in cooking, things I'd never mess with. First, never ever rush the process. Good food takes time. Second, seasoning. Get it wrong, and you're done. Too much, too little, or the wrong balance, and you've ruined your dish. And third, respect the heat. Whether it's a slow, gentle simmer or a searing flame, knowing how to control your fire is what separates an amateur from a true master. And you know, some people are just born with that instinct for cooking. They don't just follow recipes. They feel the food. They know exactly how much salt to sprinkle, what marinade will elevate the meat, the perfect temperature to hit for that ideal texture. But even for those blessed with that sixth sense, it all comes down to practice. A natural talent means nothing without honing it, refining it, and putting in the hours to turn instinct into mastery. Now, let's get serious. To do this beef leg justice, I'm going all in. I'm building a tandoor-style underground oven. Why? Because this is the secret to getting the best possible result. The enclosed heat works magic, ensuring that the meat stays juicy, tender, and rich with flavor. Unlike conventional ovens where heat escapes every time you open the door, this method locks everything in. The juices, the fats, they don't just drip away. They hit the searing hot surface and sizzle, creating an aromatic smoke that wraps around the meat like a warm embrace. That deep, smoky infusion, you can't buy that in a bottle. It's the kind of flavor that only comes from old-school, time-tested cooking. All right, fire time. Let's get this beast roasting. I'm piling on some twigs to make sure the heat is properly trapped inside. No escape, no weak spots, just an inferno of deliciousness waiting to happen. And now, the grand finale, the ignition. Once I light this up, we're talking sky-high surface temperatures. The beef will be wrapped in a cocoon of intense heat, locking in the moisture, crisping up the edges, and transforming this massive cut into something legendary. All right, our beef leg needs a worthy side dish. I'm sticking with a classic, potatoes. But instead of just boiling or roasting them, I'm letting the fire do the work. Cooking whole potatoes in the embers makes them irresistibly soft, infused with a deep, smoky aroma. A simple yet powerful way to enhance their flavor. Meanwhile, my son has found a nice little spot to play. Having a big yard is such a blessing. It gives kids the freedom to explore, climb trees, find hidden corners for their games, or maybe even tease the dogs a little. All right, the potatoes are set and the beef is slowly cooking in the pit. Now, let's chop up a fresh salad. Something crisp and vibrant to balance out the richness of our meal.
My favorite salad.
This has to be my favorite way of cooking potatoes. There's something about fire roasting them that gives them a rustic, earthy taste, one you simply can't replicate in an oven. After all this work, a cup of tea sounds just right. I've always preferred my tea piping hot. Some might say it's not the healthiest habit, but I just can't resist. The moment that steam rises, hitting your face, you feel the warmth spread through your body, shivers down your spine, a deep sense of comfort. And when you pair it with Azerbaijani shekarbura and paklava, that's pure bliss, a perfect way to soothe the soul. Enough resting, time to get some hay for the animals. Luckily, I've got my minivan, which makes hauling it all much easier. I think the potatoes have had enough time in the fire. Let's get them out before they burn. This is why I love cooking outdoors. Nothing beats the open air, the scent of wood smoke, the crackling of the fire, and kids running around, their laughter echoing through the yard. Moments like these, pure happiness. I even built a little playground for them so they can have even more fun. Dear friends from across Asia, the Middle East, the Caucasus, and parts of Eastern Europe, I'd like to wish you all a joyful Nowruz.
Aziz dostlar, Novruz bayramımız mübarek. Selam aleyküm.
May this spring bring new beginnings, happiness, and warm gatherings filled with delicious food. Special greetings from my dearest loved ones. May your homes always be filled with laughter and prosperity. The big revelation. Time to unveil the treasure. Beneath the aluminum foil, a masterpiece awaits. Just look at that smoke swirling around, the golden, slightly crisped skin. The fat has melted away, seeping deep into the meat, leaving it tender, rich, and bursting with flavor.
Perfect.
Honestly, I don't know how you're watching this without drooling. Calling this a mouth-watering experience doesn't even do it justice. If anyone could actually faint from pure sensory satisfaction, this would be the moment. Now, let's get acquainted with this beauty.
fotoğrafı kesebilirsen kapa. Burada ben ağzımda dur.
Kartoşki.
This plate looks like a dream for anyone craving a truly authentic rustic meal. I always go by my rule of 3 Bs, big, bold, and brilliant, and this meal embodies them all. The beef, succulent and dripping with juices, the potatoes like fluffy pillows nestled beside it, and when you take a bite of both together, it's the kind of satisfaction that stays with you.
Watermelon. Papa Maki, watermelon.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. And that's a wrap on this incredible day. Words can't express my gratitude for you being here, sharing this gastronomic journey with me.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.
I'm Kanan Badalov, and this was my cooking show. See you on the next adventure. Hello, hello, my people. Look where we are, at the biggest local market where you can find anything your soul craves. From a fatty duckling to the lamb that has been grazing fresh grass just yesterday. So, you name it. Today, my sole purpose is to find a giant goose that will feature in our dinner today. Let's start our hunt. Well, well, I think I have found what I have been looking for relentlessly. Look at this goose, a noble traveler of sky and water. Why must this bird be so beautiful? That does not help me at all, as I am about to cook it this evening. Well, my friend, let's get home. This goose has lived a good life, and now it's about to have an even better afterlife as dinner. While I take care of that, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and become a member of Kanan Badalov's team. You'll get the chance to enrich your culinary skills and even your cultural experience. I really enjoy it whenever my daughter joins me on shooting days. She absolutely loves helping out with little tasks, and the moment she does, she gets so bossy. It's pretty adorable. Honestly, this channel began as my own journey as a chef, but over time, it slowly turned into something more of a family affair. I love having her around, and I hope that as she grows older, she'll be able to participate in the cooking process herself. Watching her get more involved would be amazing. It's something I'm really looking forward to. Luckily, you missed the fun part where I've been giving this goose a little makeover, cleaning off all the feathers and prepping it for its grand debut. It's kind of like a spa day, but for dinner, all fresh and ready to go. Now, I'm torching the goose's skin to give it that perfect crispy finish. It might sound a bit intense, but it's all part of the plan. The torch helps render the fat and adds a nice texture, which will make every bite more flavorful and satisfying. Trust me, it's worth the extra touch. This bird has been gracing tables for centuries, and for good reason. Let's dive into this flock of facts and juicy details about the history, traditions, and deliciousness of this hearty main course. First off, geese aren't your average dinner guest. These birds have a distinct character. Plump, flavorful, and just a little bit fancy. Historically, they were seen as symbols of wealth, with a presence at feasts dating back to ancient Rome, where they often were served in grand banquets. In fact, the Romans even believed that geese were such noble creatures that their honking actually saved the city of Rome from a surprise attack by the Gauls. After this heroism of the capital geese, the geese were commemorated in statues and stories that have survived to this day. Their legend became a symbol of vigilance and protection still celebrated in Roman culture. There is a huge difference between wild versus domesticated goose debate. Wild geese, like the ones that migrate south each year, tend to be leaner with a more gamey flavor. They're the kind of bird that has seen the world, flown in cold winds, and eaten all sorts of wild plants. On the other hand, domesticated geese have been raised for their meat for centuries, prized for their tender, juicy meat and rich fat. So, if you are looking for a goose with a little more luxury, go for the domesticated kind. Either way, you will have a bird that's well-traveled, or at least well-fed. Alright, now I need to place the goose into this pot and cook it just until it's almost cooked through, but still a bit chewy. I'm doing this because the goose will get another round of cooking in the Afghan cauldron. The idea is to lock in some of those juices before the final cook, ensuring that we're left with a tender, flavorful base. The Afghan cauldron is a real gem of cooking tradition. Its thick walls are perfect for slow cooking and tenderizing meats like goose, a method that ensures you get that melt-in-your-mouth texture with every bite. It's been used by nomadic tribes for centuries and still carries that same incredible ability to create deep, rich flavors. Some bay leaves to infuse the broth with that earthy, fragrant aroma that'll give our dish a whole new dimension of flavor. As the leaves soften, they'll release those robust oils, adding a depth that'll really tie everything together. Look at this inquisitive face, studying the pot, anticipating what's to come. Don't worry, my girl. Very soon, this will be on your plate. Every bite packed with delicate, rich flavors. As the steam rises, she's already sensing something delicious is about to happen. It's amazing how food can bring everyone together, right? The anticipation of something good, something familiar, but always with a little twist. That's enough for our goose. Now let's start layering it inside the Afghan cauldron. The Afghan cauldron, with its centuries-old design, was originally used by Central Asian tribes who needed a vessel that could withstand open flames and keep the heat steady for long periods of time. It's perfect for slow cooking, locking in all the moisture and flavors, and it's also an impressive sight with that round, sturdy shape. The intricate design of the Afghan cauldron helps distribute heat evenly, creating the ideal environment for cooking meat to perfection. The lid seals tightly, trapping in all the heat and steam, making it the perfect tool for a long, slow cook. The result is always something special: tender meat, flavorful broths, and a deep richness you just can't get any other way. Some carrots for color and a touch of sweetness. They'll break down slightly as they cook, enriching the broth with a subtle flavor that complements the goose. Now, let's add some onions.
And onion.
They'll caramelize as they cook, contributing that natural sweetness that balances out the savory notes in the goose. This is where the layers of flavor start to build. Now let's close the lid tightly and place it on the stove. Meanwhile, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and like the video. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, you'll want to be here when this dish is ready. While the goose is melting under the heat inside the cauldron, I'll start chopping our fruits. No, sadly, there's no dessert after this feast, but I promise this will be a completely different kind of culinary experience. After the goose reaches that perfect, fall-apart texture, the broth it has produced will turn into a heavenly soup enriched with apples, quince, raisins, dried apricots, and chestnuts. The fruit adds a beautiful contrast, sweetness from the apples and dried fruits, while the chestnuts bring an earthy, nutty flavor, rounding everything off with a subtle creaminess. Together, they're like a warm hug in a bowl, balanced, comforting, and surprisingly fresh. The apples and quince will give the soup a slight tang, while the chestnuts add that deep, earthy flavor that works so well with the savory goose. Let's check how the goose is doing inside this heat machine. It's almost like it's about to explode with the hot steam filling the air. Everything is infusing and coming together. The smell is already getting out of control. I can tell we're on the right track. Oh my, the smell is absolutely mouth-watering.
Smells so tasty, guys. So delicious.
Look at that. The meat is falling apart with just the slightest touch. That's exactly the texture we've been aiming for. It's perfectly tender, just as I anticipated. You can see the richness of the goose meat in each piece. It's been cooking in its own juices, and now it's ready to be shredded into the soup. All right, now I need to strain the broth to remove any bits of goose or coagulated blood that might have formed during cooking. We want the broth to be nice and clear, silky smooth. With all the flavors we've been building, this will ensure the soup has that clean, rich flavor we're aiming for. Now, let's toss in the carrots first, let them soften and release their flavor into the broth. Then we'll add the rest of the ingredients.
Bunlardan götüreyim. Eyvah eyvah eyvah.
Ha?
Ne sardım?
Eyvah. Getirdim eyvah. Şimdi gelin. Baba ellerimi şişirteceğim.
Kızıştır.
Baba bir...
Someone's having the best time while I shred the meat. She's already looking forward to the moment when she gets to taste everything. Imagine this: raisins, apricots, apples, quince, and carrots all cooking together in that rich broth, which has absorbed all the flavors of the goose. The dried fruits add sweetness while the chestnuts bring an earthy depth to the soup. Every bite will have that perfect balance of savory, sweet, and nutty,
Guys, and little bit rice.
each flavor enhancing the other. It's a culinary harmony that's like nothing else. The fruits give the broth a fruity brightness, while the chestnuts ground it with their creamy texture and earthy flavor.
And of course, guys, little bit saffron.
Now, let me show you a secret ingredient that will completely change the flavor and appearance of this soup: saffron. It's the spice of luxury, adding a vibrant golden hue and an aromatic depth that takes this dish to a whole new level. When you add saffron, you add a touch of magic to the entire dish. Finally, we're ready to reveal the magic bubbling away in the cauldron.
It's done, guys.
This is the culmination of hours of slow cooking, patience, and layering of flavors. We've got a soup that's rich, nourishing, and full of history. Now, the moment of truth. This soup is rich, fragrant, and everything I hoped it would be.
I don't believe. It's very tasty.
It's the perfect balance of sweet and savory, with depth from the chestnuts and a delicate sweetness from the fruits. It's like a warm hug in a bowl. I'm so proud of how it turned out. The saffron gives it an exotic flair, and the goose meat has absorbed all those incredible flavors. It's a dish that's truly comforting, but with an exciting twist.
Sweety, salty, yummy, very tasty, guys.
I'm a bit nervous as my daughter gets ready to taste it. Her reaction means everything to me. I put so much love into this dish, and if she likes it, I'll know I've done my job right.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Salam alaikum, pahoa.
Great. She really liked it. I'm Kanan Badalov, and you've been a part of this amazing culinary and authentic experience. Thank you all for staying with us and sharing this journey. Until next time, keep cooking, keep exploring, and stay tuned for more delicious adventures. Hello and welcome, crazy food enthusiasts. I'm Kanan Badalov. And today, we're about to dive into one of the most savory culinary experiences you've ever had. Stick around. This is going to be one heck of a ride. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom, petals floating gently in the air, whispering that spring has arrived. The sudden warmth sparks an idea, something just as rich and soothing as this breeze. And in just a few moments, you'll see exactly what kind of grand dinner I have in mind. Looking at these mighty bones, you might be thinking, how can bones become a meal? Well, after all this time cooking together, you should know things aren't always as they seem. These bones hide a golden secret: bone marrow. Soft, silky, buttery, and packed with flavor. But what exactly is marrow? It's the nutrient-rich fat nestled inside bones, slowly forming as they grow. Our house of energy, vitamins, and healthy fats, marrow is like nature's butter, melting effortlessly and enriching everything it touches with deep, meaty goodness. Now, to get to this hidden gem, I need the right tools. Lucky for me, I've got them. When picking bones, I always go for the big ones, leg bones, knuckles, because the thicker they are, the more marrow they hold. You want bones that are dense and packed with that creamy core. Anything too thin or hollow won't give you the same rich experience. Just look at this beauty. Thick, luscious, and absolutely loaded with flavor. It glistens like molten gold, smooth yet slightly translucent. The smell, a warm, nutty aroma mixed with deep, roasted meatiness. It's pure indulgence waiting to happen. Time to fire up the grill. First, I'll give these bones a light roast to unlock that smoky goodness from the coals. And for an extra layer of flavor, I'm tossing in some rosemary sprigs. Because when those fragrant oils hit the fire, they create pure magic. That's the thing about cooking. You've always got to think of ways to level up the flavor.
Guys, let's give our bones some flavor.
Not sure how? Hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty of tricks up my sleeve to help you master the kitchen. But listen, marrow isn't the main star of today's show. It's more of a co-star, part of something bigger. Any guesses? Here's a hint. It has nothing to do with grilling. Remember what I said earlier? I want to make something that feels like spring. Warm, comforting, and full of life. So, what do you eat when you're feeling under the weather? That's right, a hearty soup. And I'm about to make one that'll flip your taste buds and change the way you think about comfort food forever. Time to get these bones in the pot and let them simmer. The marrow will melt into the broth, giving it that luxurious, velvety texture. I'll add grilled beef and a handful of fresh greens to build up the flavors. Every season has its perfect dish. In winter, I go for fish. In summer, it's seafood. Autumn, a big, wholesome pilaf with dried fruits. What about you? What's your go-to seasonal dish? Let me know in the comments. Oh wow, just look at this. That creamy marrow is melting beautifully, spreading its sizzling aroma all around. Let me grab a spoon. You know what makes bone marrow so incredible? It's a nutritional powerhouse. Packed with collagen, it's fantastic for your skin, joints, and gut health. The healthy fats? They're pure fuel for your body, keeping you energized and satisfied. And let's not forget the vitamins, A, K, and B12, all essential for overall wellness. It's not just tasty, it's good for you. Bone marrow is a global delicacy, a secret weapon of rich, hearty dishes. The French roast it, slathering the velvety marrow onto crispy baguettes. In Vietnam, it melts into pho, creating that deep, umami-packed broth. Over in Mexico, it's tucked inside tacos de tuétano, paired with bright salsas. And in the Middle East, it's slow-cooked into stews, adding depth and silkiness. No matter where you go, marrow is pure indulgence. Liquid gold for the soul. Now that the meat has soaked up that incredible smoky flavor, it's time to let it simmer. That broth is already looking gorgeous, but we're just getting started. As I toss handfuls of greens into the bubbling broth, the colors are almost too beautiful to be true. Spinach, wild garlic, green onions, dill, coriander, and tarragon. Each herb adds a little piece of spring to the mix, releasing their fresh fragrance as they dive into the hot liquid. It's like a garden coming alive in the pot. You know, it's a real crime how we sometimes turn up our noses at certain parts of livestock, like the entrails. People tend to dismiss them as waste, but that's where the magic lies.
Guys, smells so good.
With the right touch, those parts can transform into something extraordinary. I've learned over time that it's all about the approach. Treat them with respect, give them time, and they'll reward you tenfold. All right, let's give these greens a nice thorough wash. You want to get all the dirt off, especially since we're using fresh, earthy ingredients like wild garlic and dill. Clean greens make all the difference. Nothing's worse than biting into something gritty. Now, I'm peeling these potatoes. They're about to become the heart of this dish, thickening up the broth and adding a soft, creamy texture. Did you know you can also use bone marrow in potato dishes, whether mashed, roasted, or even in a creamy gratin? Bone marrow gives a rich, buttery finish that elevates potatoes to another level. I'm grating these carrots now, getting ready to roast them with onions. The sweetness from the carrots, combined with that smoky char from the grill, will add such a nice contrast to the savory broth. We'll fold them into the soup later, and oh, that flavor is going to be magic. Let's take it off the heat. Perfect. Look at that golden caramelization. Just the kind of char we need to bring out those sweet notes. Why am I adding so many greens to this soup? It's simple, really. Each one brings something different to the table. The spinach gives us a silky, soft texture, while the wild garlic and tarragon add a nice aromatic sharpness. And the dill and coriander, well, they're the backbone, the flavor heroes. It's all about balance and getting each one to complement the other. While we're at it, you could even toss in some parsley or a squeeze of lemon for a zesty pop. The beauty of this soup is that it can take a little of whatever you've got lying around. Just don't forget to keep those flavors working together. All right, time to chop these greens nicely and then toss them back into the pot. You want to make sure everything's in bite-sized pieces. No one wants to bite into a whole leaf of tarragon, right? You know, I've often wondered how this soup came to be. I'm sure it was invented by someone who needed something hearty, something to feed a crowd. Probably after a long day of hard work. Maybe it was the blend of whatever vegetables were in season thrown into a pot to simmer and satisfy. It's funny how some of the best dishes come from simple necessity. In go the carrots now. Look at that color. They're going to cook up beautifully and add that perfect, slightly sweet undertone to the soup. And now, let's add the potatoes. These guys will add a bit of starch, helping thicken the broth and make it feel so hearty and filling. Can't forget the rice for that extra starchy texture. A handful of rice here will make everything come together beautifully.
Let's make it better.
One last handful of greens to finish it off. You know, you can never have too many greens in a good soup.
That's it, guys. It's done.
All right, let's sit and have dinner. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The broth has thickened, the flavors have married, and we're about to dive into something that's not just food, but a tradition passed down through generations.
Bez smetanu.
The taste? It's rich, yet fresh. That bone marrow has infused the broth with this deep, velvety richness, while the greens bring brightness and depth. The carrots and potatoes have absorbed all those smoky flavors, making each bite a perfect harmony of savory and sweet. This soup is comfort in a bowl. And there you have it, folks. Our hearty, rich soup ready to be devoured.
Guys, it's very tasty. Really, it's very tasty. I want some. Oh man, see you guys.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave me a comment about how you'd put your own twist on this recipe.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.
Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, friends. I've been putting my thinking cap on these past couple of days, asking myself, what's the one dish that'll have you craving like never before? Just kidding, nothing that dramatic. It's me, your old buddy Kanan, and today I'm about to unveil a true culinary spectacle, a massive, succulent lamb cooked whole in the oven. And before we dive in, one quick thing, make sure you've hit that subscribe button and liked the video. It's the best way to kick things off and support the channel. Let's roll. There are countless lamb recipes out there, and if I started counting, we'd be here for an extra 16 minutes. So let's keep it simple and focus on the one I'm about to show you. Right here, I've got a fresh, beautifully marbled lamb. Just look at that thick layer of fat hugging the meat. It's gonna melt down perfectly in the oven. Now, don't be scared. I'm not performing some ancient ritual here. What I'm doing is called scoring, or if we're getting technical, pricking. But why do this when your lamb is one solid piece? Like scoring or pricking helps the seasonings and marinade absorb deeper into the meat. Essentially, you're making tiny holes all over the meat to let those flavors really sink in. Personally, I prefer pricking over scoring. It creates more surface area for the marinade to work its magic. The right marinade is almost as important as the quality of the meat itself. Imagine you've got a fantastic cut of lamb, and then you mess it up with a bland, tasteless marinade. That's not going to happen today because I'm going to show you a classic marinade that works with any meat, especially lamb. First, let's give this lamb a generous rub down with salt, inside and out. For the marinade, you'll need 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of turmeric. This stuff is a game changer when it comes to meat. It's earthy, slightly peppery, with a deep, warm bitterness that sings in every bite. Some crushed black peppercorns, and whatever you do, don't use pre-ground pepper. Get the whole peppercorns and grind them fresh for that extra kick. Next, dill grains. This is a little gem. Earthy with a touch of sweetness and a hint of citrus. It'll instantly elevate the flavor profile. And a drizzle of olive oil to bring all those flavors together in a nice, spicy medley. That's it, folks. No need for a cookbook or endless searching for the perfect marinade. Just paprika, salt, black pepper, dill grains, and olive oil, and you're all set. To keep the lamb stable in the oven, I'll use this as a base. This way, the lamb roasts evenly and develops a perfect crispy crust. Now it's time for our lamb to get its spa treatment. Let's rub in all that spicy goodness, making sure every part of the lamb is coated in that marinade. This isn't just about seasoning, it's about enveloping the lamb in that rich flavor. If you try this recipe at home, I recommend using a lamb that weighs around 12 to 15 kilos. This size cooks more evenly, giving you the perfect balance between crispy, golden skin and melt-in-your-mouth meat. And here's one more tip for you. Always look for grass-fed lamb. It has a richer, earthier flavor that makes everything stand out. But if you can't find grass-fed, don't sweat it. Grain-fed lamb works just fine too, but if you've got the choice, always go with grass-fed. And of course, I've got my rosemary sprigs. I never cook lamb without them. That refreshing, slightly peppery aroma of rosemary pairs perfectly with lamb's rich, gamey flavor. When cooked just right, lamb has a juicy tenderness with a slight gamey edge that really shines through. From the delicate flavor of a rack to the robust taste of a shoulder, each cut brings something unique. Add a bit of garlic, rosemary, and a splash of lemon, and you've got an herby, citrusy bite that perfectly balances with the richness. While our lamb is taking its sweet time, I'm preparing a hearty vegetable stew with classic ingredients. Here I've got bell peppers in 3 different colors for a vibrant pop and visual appeal. And some eggplants. I think eggplants are one of the most visually striking veggies. Their lustrous purple skin and creamy ivory interior are just nature's perfection. This veggie medley reminds me of ratatouille, though I'm not arranging them in circles. I'll also be adding some mushrooms for extra depth. Dishes like ratatouille have that perfect rustic touch that pairs beautifully as a side dish to any hearty main course. A pinch of salt, and we're good to go. For this lamb and vegetable stew, we want the oven set to around 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the sweet spot for achieving that perfect roast, crispy skin on the lamb and tender, flavorful veggies. In the meantime, let's hydrate with a warm cup of tea. I got so caught up in the cooking that I completely forgot the basics. Don't even mention a glass of water. I'm definitely in the zone here. By the way, Big Brother is watching. Kanan keeps an eye on those of you who watch, but forget to subscribe. Don't think I won't notice, because I'm always watching. I'll come for you in your dream. Or if you don't want that, just click subscribe and show that like button some love. Look at what I've got here. Little diamonds of sweetness, so precious. A staple dessert of Azerbaijani cuisine, baklava. How many of you have tried baklava? Who are the lucky ones who know what it's like to taste heaven? Or maybe there are some brave souls out there who've made baklava at home? Drop a comment below. I want to know who's daring enough to take on this treat. Look at that. Rich, comforting, and oh so tender. This stew is the perfect balance of flavors, a great companion for our lamb. Just look at that. The lamb's skin is wrapped in a golden sheen. The edge is crispy and inviting. It's a work of art. And here it is, our beautiful, perfectly cooked lamb. The skin is wrapped in a golden sheen and the scent is absolutely intoxicating. I'm going to add some fresh salad leaves on the side because presentation is key. And now it looks like a prize, a true feast, fit for royalty. And here we are, our lamb, ready to be devoured. Let's take a moment to admire this beauty.
Gülşah dön gel hazırdır.
Geldim.
Now that our princess has arrived, it's time to feast. Take a seat and join me for this glorious meal.
Oo.
this lamb unbelievable. The skin's crispy, the meat's perfectly tender, and that flavor, it's rich, but not overpowering, with that perfect balance of smoky, savory goodness. Absolutely spot on.
Хорошо. Хорошо.
And remember, folks, if you want more of this, subscribe, like, and share. You don't want to miss the next episode.
Max.
That's it for today, folks. Another episode in books. This is your chef, Kanan Badalov, signing off. See you next time, and happy cooking.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum. Давай опять.
Ты мокрый.